I'm going to stop for a few questions, okay? Two sections. We're going to go now to the velocity side, and then I'm going to stop for some questions, both for the people physically here as well as the people on live, all right? So first up, this is a slide that talks about commission. There are no numbers, but at the very bottom are years. What this basically says is since 1984, the company has done one thing and one thing consistently clear regardless of what happens, whether we're up, whether we're down, whether there's an economic downturn, an upturn, a boom, a crisis. We paid you higher and higher commissions on a yearly basis. We've never failed at that. And the reason why I'm showing this slide is one message, okay? We are rock solid business partners at the end of the day, okay? As a company, as somebody who's moving towards this plan, my first thing with you guys is, would we ever do something? Do you think that I would ever introduce a plan that would send this trend down? Do you think that at any point in time I will allow, as a representative of the company, for you guys to earn less and be less prosperous than you guys currently are doing right now? Absolutely not. Okay? This slide basically says this is our commitment as your rock-solid business partner. The whole point of launching Velocity is so that you guys get to do business better, get to earn better, become more prosperous at the end of the day. Okay? And that is the commitment that we've had since 1984. Okay? And that's the commitment we're going to have all the way to 2034, 54, and beyond. Okay? I just want to get that at the very, very beginning. Okay? But that being said, okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is innovation. As a company, the way we've thrived throughout the years is our big innovations. Okay, we've come out with blockbuster products that I'd say have changed the markets, that have made people believers, that have made markets go up. Okay, but at the end of the day, here comes a time when we're probably also going to need to innovate our sales compensation plan. Because you know what? This wealth maximizer plan that we have, we launched it back in 2008. Off of principles way back from the 80s and the 90s. I'm not saying that they were wrong during that time. For their time, they were great. We were doing great. But my position right now is it's time for innovation. It's time for change. Let us get you guys a global seamless plan that still focuses on the leadership and that maximizes your wealth. And these aren't just taglines. These are things that we ultimately want. Now, the one thing people ask is, why change, Carl? Why are you rocking the boat? Okay, why are we trying to change the way things are? I'm doing great. Okay, because the world is changing. At the end of the day, here's something that I mentioned, I think, in the previous meetings. Look, we are Nu Skin. We are not here to catch up. We are here to get in front and lead the pack. You get what I mean? Is our sales compensation plan the way it is leading the pack? Okay, I'd argue left or right, but the point is, okay, in this ever-changing world, in order for us to be our best, in order for us to be at the front of the pack, we need to keep growing and growing and getting better and better and better. And I'm going to talk about a couple of trends that, in my mind, okay, are the necessary movers, are the necessary whys. Basically, if you're asking where are we now in this presentation, this is the why velocity. Why are we doing this change? Why are we innovating our compensation plan? Why? Because the world is changing. Okay? First change, demographics. Okay? Millennials right now, if you guys are your own business owners or your own employers, or if you have your own office, you notice that, you know what, the staff are getting younger and younger and younger. Okay? In fact, millennials are going to be about half the working population by about 2025, 50% of the population by that time. Okay? The question is, these millennials, are they exactly the same as the previous generation? Do we think that there are some different needs that they have as compared to, for example, Gen X's or baby boomers or whatnot? Okay? In my mind, the plan that works is a plan that gives them what they need, their flexibility, their quickness, their speed. Okay? Millennials are known, okay, for wanting something now, for wanting something fast, and still maintaining the quality. Is our sales compensation plan, okay, going to be able to keep up with that? My answer is, that's why we're doing Velocity. Okay? Next one. With a few million, later on billion millennials, okay, we're talking technology amplifies those needs. Now, back then, I could send a snail mail, it'll take about 3 weeks for it to get to you. Nowadays, you're in Facebook talking to about 20, 30 people all over 15 different countries. Technology has amplified that need for speed, connectivity, flexibility, okay? At the end of the day, it's so easy to compare how other companies are, for example, in terms of their opportunity, in terms of their prices, in terms of their products, okay? Are we as a company going to be able to keep up, okay, with this rising trend? And in my mind, that's why we're doing Velocity, okay? Number two, that was number two. Number three, okay, the gig economy. I know that we keep hearing this in corporate presentations, but it really truly is the case. The number in my head was 33%. It's actually 34% for Asia Pacific are gigs. Gigs are basically those people who do not have a standard 9 to 5. For those of us who are staff, we work in the office and we get a salary day in and day out, but there are people who are not. Okay, there are freelance photographers, there are freelance salon people, there are insurance agents, there are realty agents, there are distributors, okay? And these people are actually in the business of being their own bosses, their own gigs, their own time, their own flexible income, okay? And my question for us is, are we going to be able to be that perfect gig? So combining all three, again, here is a millennial generation that's going to be taking over the workforce. Workforce prospects, new members, people with purchasing power. These millennials have different types of demands, amplified by technology, okay? Driven by the fact that it was 34% in Asia Pacific, it's going to be about 50% by 2025, 2030, based on that trend. So half the population wants to be their own boss. Can we be the gig that they choose, okay? In our vision to be that leading opportunity platform, are we going to be equipped with the right tools to be that leading opportunity platform, okay? And again, this is the why. That's why Velocity. Okay, because the world is changing, and if we don't keep up, we're going to fall behind. Never mind leading the pack, okay? If we want to lead, we want to make sure that we're continuously getting better and better and better. That is why when we talk about Velocity, we go here on different factors. And in my mind, okay, these are things that we've made our plans more flexible, we've made it faster, we've continued to keep it fulfilling. For example, nowadays, okay, people want that kind of flexibility. I work at the level that I'm committed to. You guys bring in people who are immediately today, I want to be $1 million Circle member. I'll give you all my time, my whole life. Congratulations, okay, to those kind of people. But sometimes you bring in somebody who goes, I just want to try the product. Let me see if I can get a little bit of income. Or I already love my job. I already love where I'm at. Let me just try new skin. So some of us come into this business on a full-time basis. Some of us come in on a part-time basis. Okay, my position is if the plan doesn't work at all levels, it doesn't work. Okay, and this is where different parts of Velocity will appeal to that flexibility that we're needing so far. Okay, fast. Okay, I think I mentioned in one of our other for those of us who've had these previous conversations. Back then, I would dial up a modem, and it would take me 5 minutes to get to the internet, and one page would load for 30 seconds. Okay. Well, nowadays with 3G and 4G in Singapore, if my web page doesn't load in about 3 to 5 seconds, there's something wrong with the network, okay? Or there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi if it doesn't load in 3 to 5 seconds. So again, as technology progresses, and believe me, technology is going to progress with or without us, okay? As technology progresses, the patience of people diminish. We become more and more impatient. Not to say that we're wrong for becoming impatient, but our standards are going up and up and up. So my question is, are we going to be fast enough? Okay, that's why I'm going to talk to you guys later on about why we're trying to do what? Hasten your business cycle. With daily and weekly pay being introduced, we want to make sure that we are just as fast. Because my question for you is, who do you think our competitors are? Okay, not to name names, but there are other direct companies out there. Never mind that. Can we be as good as Uber? Can we be as good as Airbnb? Can we be as good as Grab? Can we be as good as any other opportunity platform? Because believe me, they're not just going to pick over other direct selling companies. If I graduate from the Philippine university or high school and I want to get my own job, what jobs am I going to be picking from? And don't tell me that they're just going to pick from different direct selling companies. No, they're going to pick from whatever's out there, including insurance, including realty, including whatever sideline gig they might have. And my question for you is, are we going to be flexible enough for them? Are we going to be fast enough for them? And more importantly, here's why I love being in this industry, fulfilling for them. Because you know what? Can they deliver that back-end future plan B? I know that we've got Blue Diamonds here in the room, and they've experienced that. But part of the beauty of why I'm in Houston is I see that long-term benefit. This is your retirement plan. This is your plan B. This is financial freedom for you guys. Okay? Are we still going to be able to deliver that? The answer between fast, flexible, and fulfilling is yes, yes, yes. Okay? The whole point of why I'm training on Velocity, why I'm supporting, why I'm working to death right now, making sure that this works, is I believe that this will make our company get better, go better, especially with you guys in mind. Okay? And that's why Velocity. Now, I'm going to start talking about the different things about Velocity, but let me just focus a little bit on this slide, because this is where most uplines kind of forget. How often do you really touch bases with your downlines? Okay? And this is something that we see. I used to be a Singapore account manager, and I promise you this is true. Okay? From our side over there, I've got an upline who goes, congratulations, meet your 2,000 points or meet your 3,000 points, and then what do? I'll see you next month. Right? You've got a very, very talented individual, and this individual does 3,000 points June 5. June 6, what does that individual do? Rest. They'll rest for about 3 weeks. Sometimes they rest so much they never get back up. It's called grace and falling out. How many of us have experienced that? In a very real sense, the plan that we have right now, not to say it's not good, but in all honesty, we only give our downlines how many targets a year? 12 months. We are sending the message institutionally that, hey, you guys only have to work 12 times. You only have 12 targets to meet, because you know what? Our cutoff and our commissions are basically on a monthly basis. For those of you guys who are on Facebook Live, I'm actually like pacing it on a slower kind of, I'm waving my hand, I guess, in a slow way. But imagine what would happen if we could tell them, you know what, you don't have 12 targets. That downline goes, wait a minute, it's not about seeing you next month and resting 2 weeks. See you next week. If we could, as uplines, develop the cadence of giving them not 12 targets, but 52 smaller targets, all of a sudden, your business cycle, what? It accelerates. It goes faster. And theoretically, what I'm basically saying is it also means they do more. They produce more, and everybody, it's a win-win, earns. And at the end of the day, let's not even talk about 52 weeks, okay? Let's start talking about 365 days, okay? What if that person is a part-time sharer online, and you know what? Congratulations. You needed to earn $200 to go on a little vacation. Target met. Is it see you next week or see you next month? No. See you tomorrow. What else, or what dragons are we going to slay tomorrow? And your business cycle suddenly goes from something that goes slow, month over month over month, to something that goes week over week, to something that goes on a daily basis. Now again, depending on the way your team builds, depending on the way your team builds, you may or may not take on all opportunities, but I would like to think of Velocity as 3 different opportunities. There's an opportunity for us to share, that's daily. There's an opportunity for us to build, that's weekly. There's an opportunity for us to lead, that's monthly. Okay? And in my mind, this is not about how long you've been with the company. This is how far you currently stretch. Let me give you an example. You have some people who probably have joined us 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Do they really have that full commitment to be a $1 million Circle member? I think not. Okay? They're probably thinking about the products. Hey, I like this. This is pretty good. Is there an opportunity here? Can I share this with my uncle, my kid, my niece, my whomever? Okay? And you know what? That's share right there. Okay? Those people are probably start buying businesses. Okay, I want to become an executive. Let me try and get a little bit of part-time income over this. Okay, and for people like I think right now, build the fact that they're currently getting PPE and EB right now, it's something that supports their current income. It's part-time income. It's something that can replace their monthly salary, for example. Okay? For those of us who are now thinking about building teams and taking care of customers, making sure that I'm not just sharing with my mom, I've got a referral. I am now doing this as part-time work. Okay, you got Bill, and this is honestly, I'm going to talk about Bill later on. This is one of the most exciting portions of the plan. I'm going to share something that, in my mind, is just going to be truly exciting for you. And here's the thing, Carl, are we going to start becoming retailers? Am I going to start looking like L'Oreal selling stuff and hawking stuff left and right? No. Okay, this company was built on leadership. The commitment is definitely still there. So for those of us who see that long-term plan, who still want $1 million a month, who, whether you've been with the company a year or you've been with the company 10 years, and you can see the opportunity, you can see that plan, and that retirement plan, that financial freedom, LEAD is still very much robust, that it's still going to give you that whatever, what you need, okay, to get your goals, to get your freedom, to get big, basically, at the end of the day. Okay, so let me move on to the next slide. When we talk about velocity, retail is something that we're going to be taking out. I highlighted it because in the Philippines side, when you retail, you can basically retail, and it's outside of the company. Okay, we have a suggested retail price. You can buy and you can retail. That's something that you can do on your own. But I'm going to focus more on share. Okay, share again is that boundary behavior. Let me refer a few products to my uncles, my aunts, or whatever. Build. I've got a smaller team of people. Let me see what income I can generate out of them. Lead. I've got teams with teams, okay? And let me see how I can lead this whole thing for an even bigger organization, all right? So I'm going to do a quick flash over at Vita, and again, this is something that is not going to be institutionalized in the Philippines, but it does happen. People do buy products from the company, and they do sell at the suggested retail price. It's an opportunity for everybody. Everybody knows that there's already a spread. It hasn't changed. It's still there. Okay? Let me talk. Carl, what is the behavior, okay, that we are rewarding? We are rewarding the behavior of bringing in new people. I think it was Johnny Amanon from Thailand. He's a $1 million circle member, and he says new blood. Okay, new blood is the one that grows an organization. This is not morbid or anything, but new people are new hopes. New people are very energetic. Bringing in new people brings life to a team. Okay, and that's why his suggestion is, you know what? You're ever feeling down? Bring in new people. Get energy from them. And you know what? Share is specifically made for that. I have a statistic, and I don't have it on the screen right now, but basically, distributors, they think of it like, I don't have the exact figure, but they refer, let's say the number 10. They refer 10 people a year, for example. But people who are doing this, like refers, qualifying executives, they actually refer something like 110 times more than the average distributor. Imagine if we could get to a culture where we're saying, hey, let me be rewarded for bringing in new people. And Share institutionalizes that. What's the concept of Share? Okay, by July, and this is, again, not tomorrow. Okay, so for those of us watching on the broadcast, this isn't something we're going to launch in a couple of hours. This is something that goes live July 1. Do not give your account managers a heart attack. Okay, so there's going to be different products that the company sells. We call them SKUs. Okay? For every SKU, for every type of product, there will actually be a sharing bonus that is attached to that. In this example, in this slide, you have a member price of about 174 US. And you know what? It has a sharing bonus that's attached to this. What it basically says is, every time your level 1 downline, and I'm going to have an illustration of this shortly, okay? Every time your level 1 downline buys something in their own account, okay? You as their sponsor, you get that sharing bonus, whatever that is. So per product, there's going to be a sharing bonus. In our example, this person, you, registered a customer, Miss A, and Miss A happens to like the product, so she bought a LumiSpa in this outline. She bought it for $174, and you as the upline get $25 off of it. Simple, okay? Bring in new people every time they buy something, you get a sharing bonus. Bring in new people when they buy something, you get a sharing bonus. And in my mind, it's a great part-time opportunity because it's daily earned. It doesn't daily pay in the Philippines, meaning it doesn't go straight to your bank account. But later on, I'm going to show you guys the virtual bank account where on a daily basis, you see how you earn, okay, every day. Generally, the sharing bonus ranges from 5 to 20%. Okay, there are some products which are, in my mind, normal products, they're about 5%, but there are some hot products, which at the end of the day are something that we, as a company, or as uplines, we want them to keep sharing and sharing and sharing and bringing in new people. We're going to put higher sharing bonuses on those. Okay? And here's the thing. If you are a brand representative, and for those of you not familiar with that term, a brand representative is the new term for an executive. Okay? A distributor is a brand affiliate. An executive is a brand representative. And if you are a brand representative, an executive, everybody in this room, if you guys buy something on your own PV, you guys will get that sharing bonus. Clear so far? Here's an example. This is Jenna, and Jenna sponsored a couple of people. Jenna sponsored Peter, Ashley, and Monique. Monique sponsored Gary. In this example, every time Monique, Peter, or Ashley, they buy something, okay, who gets a sharing bonus of that? Jenna does. But in this example, Gary was brought in by Monique. Now, every time Gary buys something, who gets a sharing bonus there? Monique. Why? Because the point is, it's not just going to be the upline executive who's responsible for bringing in people, right? You have your new people bringing in new people, and this is important, okay? Why? Because this rewards sponsoring activity. So every time we bring in somebody new, their original upline sponsor, they get that sharing bonus. I repeat, their original upline sponsor gets that sharing bonus. Okay? So, I'm going to stop for questions after I go through the whole gamut of share, build, and lead. Okay? If you guys have any questions, just type them up either in Facebook Live or just prepare them in your head. I'm going to ask those questions out. I'm going to answer them later on. Okay? Now, build. We've covered share, and this is something that on a daily basis you get that sharing bonus. Build is, however, on a weekly basis. So every time your team produces something, you get it every week. So when we talk about team, we talk about everybody who is within your group. Okay? In our current terms, this is called your circle group. Anybody who has not broken away as an executive. So your distributors, your qualifying execs. Okay? If you were in other countries, you might have preferred customers if they allow preferred customers in that country. Okay? At the end of the day, your group is basically your GV. Okay? Share bonus rewards what? The PV of your downlines. Build bonus rewards your own GSV. Okay, so far? Okay? Now, the one thing that I love about this is the results are very clear. Pre-velocity, and I'm sure you guys experienced this, okay? By May 29, everybody is rushing the office. Paolo's phone is ringing. The account managers are going crazy. You know why? Because the orders are coming in. This is what we call the last few days rush, the fourth week rush. At the end of the day, historically, for the past 10 years, all of our volume comes in those last how many days, and everybody's giving your market heads a heart attack. You know why? Because they don't know if your volumes are going to come in or not. Okay? You know what happens after velocity comes in? Look at this. Yes, there is still a spike. Why? Yes, you are still adjusting those volumes. But if you give your downlines a weekly target, and if they can get rewarded on a weekly basis, if you already have a sale that you can get done on week 2, why not? Okay? And you see that, and this is just with like 4 months in the Pacific, you can already see their sales distribution evening out. Imagine as an upline being able to kind of, okay, my team's okay, their volumes are fine. Imagine spending your first 2 weeks reaching your minimum and spending the next 2 weeks going for gold, okay? Going for optimization. It's not about surviving, guys. It's about making sure that you guys thrive. And that's why we're now changing some of the rules. It's no longer at the end of the month. You have a month end every 7 days. Okay? And that's what I hope will drive, okay, your organizations. Now, let me introduce you guys to the concept of blocks. Okay? Blocks is very simple. A block is 500 points. Literally. When you buy something from Newskin, for those who are not so familiar, there's this thing called a PV. You buy something, it's equivalent to a certain number of points, and you accumulate them if you are an executive or a brand representative. Okay? Now, basically, if you have 500 GV, you have 1 block. That is what you call a building block. Now, a sharing block is something that is from your L1. Remember that example? If Jenny sponsored Monique, everything that Monique buys is technically in your L1 in our current terms. So anybody in your L1 is technically a sharing block. This is only relevant when you're trying to qualify for an executive. The moment you're already an executive, no need. But in my mind, if you guys are going to be building your business, you want to learn how executives qualify. So a building block is everybody in your team, as far down as you can count. As long as they're not executives, you can count them within your group. Okay? Sharing block is a special type of building block. Okay? It's just in your L1. And this has something to do with your qualification. Okay? So, let me highlight a couple of things. What has changed and what has not changed. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation, guys, okay? So number one, right now, to go from an LOI to an executive, how many months do you have? 6 months, okay? 6 months, how much do you need to accumulate in total for that 6 months? 6,000. So 6,000, 6 months. What is the minimum per month? 1,000, okay? Did any of that change? Absolutely not. In the current qualification to become a brand representative, you have 6 months to qualify. You need to accumulate a total of 6,000 GSV. That's 12 blocks. Okay? What you also need to do is you also need to do 2 blocks. That's 1,000 GSV per month. Did anything change? No. For all of us who are already executives, it is exactly the same as how we're currently doing it. Okay? Now, Carl, what changed? Okay? Here's the thing. Everybody familiar with the who counts who table? Remember, when you have a Q exec and they actually also LOI Q exec, all of a sudden the upline goes, oh no, I need to find another leg because I can't count that guy anymore. We are going to chuck that out the window. Literally out. The who counts who table is gone. If they are not a breakaway executive, you count them. So you can have LOI on top of LOI, Q exec on top of Q exec, counting each other's volume. Does it accelerate faster? Yes, it does. Okay? And then I know I can see some eyebrows. But what happens when they stack it up all the way down? And that is where your sharing block comes in. We are going to simplify it so that there's no who counts who table. All of your downlines in a particular line can Q exec. They can count all those volumes all the way down there. But in order to pass as an executive, in order to become a brand representative, you need 4 sharing blocks on your own. Okay? What does this mean? It means that out of the 6,000 GSV that you're going to accumulate, 2,000 GSV of that, over 6 months, okay, must be from your L1. I call that a fairness factor. Okay? There are some uplines who they suddenly LOI and they have this really fast downline who accumulates 6,000 right there. Congratulations. Your downline becomes an executive. Does the upline automatically become an executive as well? No. Because there is this 4-block requirement, that's 2,000 GSV, where they're going to need to accumulate that. So complete 12 blocks, 4 of which are sharing blocks within that 6 months. So again, the executive qualification has not changed. You have 6 months to qualify. Within that 6 months, you need to accumulate 6,000 points. Every month, you need to have 1,000 points in order to keep going as a qualifier. Familiar? Nothing changed, right? What has changed? You can count everything. As long as they're not an executive, you don't need to worry about that anymore. Okay? Apart from that, apart from counting everything, there's a fairness factor. Okay? 2,000 out of that, that's 4 blocks need to come out of your L1, which means as an upline, you're also taking care of your own customers. Why? Okay? You know that in some markets, not in the Philippines, the shelf life of some executives are 2 months. They literally go, boop, 6,000, they get promoted, they grace the first month, they fall out the second. Isn't that familiar? Okay, why? Is it because they're bad people? Is it because they're lazy? Chances are they're not. Chances are they're really trying because for 6 months they worked. But the problem is, when everybody broke away, they don't have any customers under them. Correct? They simply had, I literally have rubies with 4 breakaways but no customers. Isn't that sad at the end of the day? And do you think they can sustain without real customers? Absolutely not. In this business, there are people who are leading the way, but there is a very important place for customers. Therefore, that's the rationale behind your 2,000. That's the rationale behind your 4 blocks. That is in order to teach you over 6 months to make sure that you're doing your own work. Okay? Leaders lead from the front. You need to also be able to keep your own customers. Otherwise, how can you possibly expect your downlines to do the same thing? Okay? Now, this is the executive qualification. Okay? Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of things on the screen, and I apologize for those people who are squinting online. But basically, this is simple. Number 1, LOI. Develop a group. Make sure you have customers. Bring in new people. After that, 4 blocks out of the 12 blocks you accumulate in 6 months must be within your L1. And then after that, did any of the maintenances change? 4 building blocks. Nothing has changed. Now, before I proceed to a little bit of a counting example, somebody stopped me at a previous market and go, Carl, what happened to the PV? Remember today you need 100 PV to earn commissions? What happened to that? Okay, it's gone. Meaning, in order to earn a share bonus, in order to earn a build bonus, do I need to have my own 100 PV in my own personal account? The answer is no. Buy the products that you use. Put it in your own account. That's why we're going to have a loyalty program later on. That's why we're going to have benefits for you buy under your own account. That's why as executives, you get to keep your own sharing bonus. So the things that you buy, the things that you consume, okay, it'll still go to your GV. But is there now a minimum? For those downlines of yours who only need 50 points that month, for those downlines of yours who bought a very big set yet last month and they don't need anything this month, will we suddenly disqualify them? The answer is no. So before I proceed, I just want to clarify, okay? PV requirements for share and build, 0. Okay? Just want to get that clear. Now, here's a little accounting example. In this portion here, this is Jenna. Okay? Jenna is that big U in the middle, and here's the thing. The one in the dotted outline is basically your building block. Okay? By the way, in other countries where they have retail customers, oh no, sorry, I apologize, Ellen. Okay? Ellen is the upline executive, Jenna is the qualifying leader. Ellen is, of course, not counted because she's already executive. Okay? But Jenna here, who does she count? She counts everybody. She counts everybody under Monique, and she counts Kelsey as well. Now, who is under her L1? Her L1 is Monique and Kelsey, which means whenever Monique and Kelsey buy anything, that's part of your sharing block. Which means me as Jenna, I need to make sure that I'm teaching Monique and Kelsey how to use the products. I need to make sure that, hey, I'm maintaining my own level of customers, because one day, if Ash breaks away or whatnot, you get what I mean, I still want to make sure that I have something there, okay, in terms of volume, okay, because again, as uplines, you understand the biggest issue of your downlines is the moment they break away, they have no customers. That's what makes them fall out. Let's protect them there, okay? So this is something that velocity. Carl, okay, congratulations. You're changing some of the things. Why is it called velocity? Because now you advance weekly. Right? Remember what happens, okay, when you're on LOI? You need 6,000 to survive, right? What if you have 5,000 all the way until June? And then June 3, you hit your 1,000. Congratulations, I'm now an executive. What does your upline tell you? He tells you to stop doing anything because you know what? The next time it will count is actually August 1. What happens? Your business slowed down for like 3.5 weeks. Okay? Now, the moment you hit your 6,000, the next week you're already an executive. I repeat, the moment you finish your qualification, whether you take it in 1 week, so one day we will have 1 week executives. Whether you take 1 week or you take 6 months, the week that you are done, the next week you are an executive. Okay? And what does that mean? You have access to higher bonus. You can already start building your organization. You literally do not have to stop. Okay? Now, here's the thing. We're going to do some counting examples, but I just want to highlight how much is the minimum requirement to survive as an executive? 2,000 GV. 2,000 translated into blocks is simply 4 building blocks. Okay? Nothing too crazy. All right? 4 building blocks is 2,000 GSV. All right? Now, a couple of things that we're going to have to ask. Carl, what happens? What happens? Because the moment I said that, oh no, they're going to break away. Okay? What happens to the executive requirements? Let me highlight that. So, this person, from January through May, has 10 building blocks, 5,000 GSV, accumulated already, clean. The first week, he does his block number 1. The second week, he does his block number 2. The month now is June, which means June 15. I'll give you guys the breakdown of the days in a bit, okay? June 15, you are already an executive. Congratulations. Does this mean that at the end of the day, between June 16 to June 30, I have to do another 2,000 to survive? All right? No, the answer is no. All right? As uplines, don't slow down your downlines. In the month that you are promoted, you get a free ride. In the month you are promoted, you get a free pass. On the month that this person is promoted, the 2,000 requirement does not apply. Why? Because we don't want to slow you down. Some people are so afraid of that 2,000 that they will literally wait for month end so they can start fresh the next month. That's not the point. I want your downlines to be able to go, if there's a sale, there's a sale. Let's bring it in. If there's a customer, let's service that customer, get them the products they need. And you know what? If that means being promoted in the middle of the month, congratulations. The rest of the month, what are you doing? You're just maximizing your bonus. You're already an executive and you're earning build bonus already. What does this do? It speeds up your business cycle. When we say we're not just paying you weekly, we're advancing you on a weekly basis as well. And I think that has to be important. From an upline basis, you're going to go, okay, what happens? What if I'm the upline? Okay? Is it all bad? No, it's not. Jenna here, in that example, Kelsey is the downline. Kelsey did 1 and 2 blocks. Week 1, 1 block. Week 2, 1 block. So who does this count for? Technically, it's still Jenna's GV. But the moment that they're promoted, congratulations, Jenna can no longer count that building block. But Jenna is now, for all intents and purposes, gold. Immediately, assuming that this is the only organization present, Jenna is now eligible for lead bonus at the end of the day. So you guys see how, in my mind, there's no loose here, at least for the upline. We make sure that none of that is wasted. All right? So here's the thing. Carl, that's not really exciting. You told me that this is the best part of build. Okay? We're not there yet. So in my mind, what I've shared with you so far is how to qualify as an executive. Congratulations. Okay? This is the part of build which I'm most proud of, and I need you guys to listen. So for those of you guys tuning in online, you can ignore everything I said up until now. Please pay attention to the next slide. Okay? The reason why I love build is because of this. In my mind, this is the principle of increasing returns. In the real world, in the outside world, okay, there's a law of decreasing returns, okay? Fat guy like me, I eat too much. The more I eat, the less I enjoy, all right? I'm going to flip that completely, okay? In velocity, the more you build, the more you do, the more you earn. Let me give you guys an example, okay? Ignore this weekly bonus schedule for now, but let me take you through this rising rising percentage chart, okay? Imagine this. Let's talk in US dollars for today, just for today, okay? 2 blocks is how many points? 1,000. 1,000 points, assuming the CSV is exactly the same. 1,000 points times 5% is, come on, you can do the math. 50. Fantastic. That's 50 USD. In my GV, I literally have 1,000 points, and then I get 50 US dollars of build commission. Okay? That's not exciting, but tell you what, I do another 500. 1 block is how many points? 500. 500 times 10% is 50. Did you notice that you did half the work but got exactly the same amount? Literally. Your first $50, you needed 1,000 points. Your next $50, you only needed 500. Let's take that a notch. Now, in block number 4, okay, from 1,500, so this is already 1,000 plus 500 is 1,500. When your GSV goes from the 4th block, that's 1,500 to 2,000. On block number 4, you're now earning 15%. So how much are you earning now? 75. Question for you. When you get to 20, out of 500 points, how much do you earn? $100. I repeat, this is the law of increasing return. The more you do, the more you earn. Literally, your first 2 blocks, you got 50. In your 5th block, you got 100 for half the work. Is that getting through? In your first 1,000 points, you got $50. In your 5th block, your 5th 500, you got 100 points. The same 500 PV, $100. Do you see that increasing? To a point where, at block number 30, that's $150 for 500. At block number 40, that's $200 for 500 PV. Of course, getting to 16, that's 8,000 GSV. All right, that's kind of a lot. It's not something that, in my mind, would be benchmark, but your downlines perform to benchmark. I repeat, your downlines perform to benchmark. So my question for you is, the maximization point for Nu Skin now is 3,000 under the Wealth Maximizer plan, yeah? You need 3,000 to get your double G1. You need 3,000 to get your 5% generations. Now, what is the maximization point? 8 blocks. 8 blocks, guys. 4,000 GSV. The moment you do 4,000 GSV, you are already maximizing that. Of course, if you can do more, please go right ahead. That's 35% of every block that you complete. 35% of every block that you complete. I'm repeating that not because I'm playing for time. I'm repeating that because it's important. The new benchmark now, guys, is 4,000 GSV. Can we teach that to our downlines? Okay? Because at the end of the day, and I challenge, please do the math. This has been calculated and recalculated, and I had to do it myself just to make sure I believe. So please go right ahead. If you go from 0 to 2,000 GSV, you will earn a certain amount. If you go to 4,000 GSV, you will earn 4 times that amount. Do twice the work, earn 4 times as much. I repeat, do twice the work, earn 4 times as much. The moment you break that 3,000 barrier, you're already earning over 30% over these GVs. So in your own group, in your own GV, do twice the work, earn 4 times as much. At the end of the day, what is the new benchmark? Do you really want to survive at 2,000, or do you want to thrive at 4? Do you want to maximize and set your benchmarks at 4? So in my mind, this is not a matter of whether I can or I can't. This is a matter of us deciding as a group, as an upline, as a downline, saying, hey, I can do 4K. You know why? Because everybody can. Did you know that the average Ruby today has over 4,000 GSV on average without breaking a sweat? Okay, their average is actually much higher than that. The average normal Ruby in the region, Southeast Asia. So in my mind, if those Rubies can do it, and they're not relying on, they're not doing it because they're Rubies and they have their G1s. No, you don't count your G1s. They're doing it because they have a Ruby mindset. They're doing it because they believe they can do it. So in my mind, the only reason that our region isn't going 3,000 every time is they don't believe. All right? Give them something to believe. As uplines, tell them the benchmark is now 4,000. Okay? And later on, after in the offline session, I'll share you guys some statistics, which I think as uplines are going to be very beneficial for you guys. Okay? Now, please, 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 for those of you listening online, please remember this slide, and just remember, twice the work, 4 times the reward. And at the end of the day, the more you do, the more you earn. Okay? And I turned back because I forgot something. By the way, this now comes on a weekly basis. For example, if I earn something between the 1st to the 7th of June, I get paid, it's not going to be paid June 8th. I'm going to earn it about June 8th, but it's going to hit your bank account. Unfortunately, in Asia, it ain't like instant transfers, okay? So in Asia, it will likely be June 9 or June 10, okay? I earn I do work. My group clocked in GV from 8th to the 14th. You're going to get your commission somewhere around the 16th or the 17th, depending on the country's banking system. At the end of the day, that's the exact bonus. That's your EB and EEB today. Okay? So at the end of the day, here's the kicker. Marlon's exactly right. Can you imagine today in January 1, did you know that your EB, you're not going to receive it until February 15? Literally, whatever you sold in January 1, they're not going to come back to you with an EB until June 15. Back when I was an account manager, that was June 25. February was almost done. I haven't gotten my commissions for January yet. Moving forward, okay, in my mind, you do work this week, you get it next week. All right? Is this a faster reward for your downlines? Imagine if you guys can get to 4,000. What's the cadence? If there are 4 weeks and you want to get to 4,000, what's the cadence, ladies and gentlemen? That's 1,000 a week. 2 blocks a week. Can we do that? 2 blocks a week. And my hope, okay, and again, this is a living plan. My hope is I'm going to get feedback from you as upline. Does this pacing work? All right? I'd like to see that. All right? So moving forward, everybody understands increasing return and weekly bonus payouts. Now, Carl, what happens, okay, if I'm 2,359 points? I didn't complete a block, whatever that number is. All right, whatever that number is. What if I didn't complete a block? Are you going to throw it away? I'm Filipino as well. In our term, we say, walang sayang. All right, at the end of the day. So if you happen to have 2,300 points, 2,000 points is how many blocks? 4 blocks. Which means what percentage are you currently at on the build side? 15%. So at 2,300 points, this 300-point balance is going to be subjected to how much percent? 15. So the moment you hit a particular level, you're at that level minimum. Okay? If you can progress more blocks, progress. But at the end of the day, the moment you hit that level, let's say you do 3,000 points, you're at 25% for the rest of the month. So if I were you, I would tell my downlines to get to 3,000 already, then you work. Get to 4,000 already, then you work. Okay? Because the point is, maximize that income. Okay? And my thinking is, it resets every month. So when do you want to get to 4,000? Do you want to get to 4,000 at the end of the month? Or do you want to get it at the middle of the month so you have more time to maximize your income? So in my mind, for those of us who have really great selling groups, for those of us who have really great executives who have good customer bases out there. If you don't have a good customer base, develop one, okay? Because when Build comes out, in my mind, the biggest amount of commissions we pay, okay? You know, we don't have like 50% Blue Diamond and Nu Skin, right? Over 50% of your downlines are literally somewhere hovering around the executive to lapis level, literally. Over half your team is between executive to lapis, and they rely on this Build bonus for their income, for their part-time income. So in my mind, it is critically important as uplines to learn how Build bonus work, because most of your organization is going to be relying on this on a monthly basis. Again, principle, increasing return. Number 2, weekly basis. And number 3, okay, most of your downlines will be relying on this. Did I get that message clear? I promise I'll stop for questions later. Okay? Now, this is going to be a little distracting, but this is basically what I just explained to you guys. So week 1, block 1, you get 5%. Block 2, please ignore the one on the right-hand side. This is just text, but please go ahead and verify. Okay? Block 1, 5%. Block 2, still 5%. But the moment they hit the 4th and the 7th blocks, notice how they get more and more and more commissions. This is basically the example that I just showed you today. Okay? So I'm going to skip some of that. Now, what happens? Oh my goodness. I didn't get enough. What happens when our term today is grace. What happens when I don't hit 2,000 GSV? What happens when I don't hit 4 blocks? This is the concept of a flex block. Okay? So I'm going to show how you guys as uplines can track it in the system. So I have a part 2 where I'm literally going to show you how you're going to see that on VNG. But for now, a flex block is a lifesaver. The moment you do not have 2,000 points, my first question for you is, do you have a flex block? Because that flex block is basically going to cover for that shortfall. Now, there's going to be a lot of information that you guys are going to see on the screen. Let me give you a bit of information verbally. For all of us watching here today, you're probably an executive already, which means when you're an executive, you don't earn it like this anymore. I'm going to ask you guys whether or not you guys have used your P-Exec. You guys familiar with P-Exec, probationary executive, right? Provisional executive, sorry. If you've already used your P-Exec status, okay, you get 3 flex blocks in July 1. If you have never used your P-Exec status, okay, you get 6 flex blocks in July 1. Let me repeat that, okay? And you can hook me on this. If you have already used your P-Exec status, you get 3 flex blocks, okay? If you have not used your exec status, you get 6 blocks by July 1 when the plan kicks in the Philippines. Okay? For everything else, this is for the new executive. For the new executive, we're not going to give him all 6 blocks all at the same time. We're going to give him 3 blocks in month 1. We're going to give him 2 blocks in month 2. We're going to give him 1 block in month 3. Can I repeat that again? We're going to give him 3 blocks, assuming he gets promoted in July. So in July, he gets 3. In August, he gets 2 more. In September, sorry, I just lost count of the month. In September, he gets 1 more. And at the end of the day, how many does he have in total? 6. Now, how do you use your flex block? Okay? You use your flex block, assuming, all right, this 3 blocks on the first column here, 3 green blocks completed. And even if this is 499 and 99, all right, it's still not a complete 500, which means it is not a flex, it's not a full block. You're still going to use up a flex block. So in this example, he had about 1,500. How much does he use? 1 block. Now, if he got 3 blocks that month, how much is left? Mental math, 2. The next month he has 2 more, which means he has 4 left. Okay? Does he use any of that in this example? Nope. So how much does he have entering September? 4. In September, he gets another 1. That means he has 5. But in that month, he only managed 1,000 points, which means there's still flex block to help him. He technically graced twice. Did he fall out? No, of course not. Okay? Flex block was there to kind of top up and make sure that he hits his 2,000. Now, if you grace in this way, if you do not complete 4 blocks, we're only going to pay you for the blocks that you complete. Okay? In a Filipino term, merong sayang. Okay? If in this example, let's say month number 3, if you did 1,400, you basically wasted your 400 because we're not going to pay you build bonus on that 400. We're going to pay you build bonus on the 2 complete blocks. So what is the message we are telling your downlines? Push. Because globally, I can disclose to you, most people, they do about 900 GSV on a monthly basis. Okay? They don't do zero. Those are the dummies. Okay? Those are the fake accounts. But the real working downlines, they do 900 GV on a monthly basis. What does it tell them? Go to 1,000. Maybe you can push. Go to 1,500. And I can show you real examples later on how that helped Australia and the Pacific gain more in terms of their gracing downlines. But at the end of the day, the concept of flex block is this. You needed 2,000. You didn't have 2,000. Here's flex block to come, like a lifesaver. Now, what if I never grace? Every time your anniversary hits, you get 3 more flex blocks. Every time year on year your anniversary hits, you get 3 more flex blocks. What if I never grace? Congratulations. In 6 years, you have 18. 21, sorry. All right? At the end of the day, you can accumulate them and you can bank them ad infinitum. All right? This is not to say you take a vacation for all the blue diamonds. You have a 2-year supply of grace. Where does your income come from? From lead. So remember, this is just for build. This is not an excuse to take a vacation. But if anything happens, you have those flex blocks there for you, just in case. And I need your downlines to be aware of that. We can give you more insight on this later on. And this is, I'm going to show you guys screens in a VNG, how you're going to track and give your downlines warning. Hey, you'll have how many flex blocks left. Okay? Now, I'm going to stop for just a little bit, and this is going to be lead. Okay? So, what have we done? We've talked about the acceleration on a daily basis, that's share. We've talked on the weekly basis, that's build. Now we're going to talk on a monthly basis, that's lead. And the first thing that I'm going to say is, look, the relationship did not change. What has changed and what has not? The first thing I'm going to say is the relationship has not changed. Okay? This is a fancy tree right here. This is you on the green one. The second level is your G1. Okay? That's your first breakaway. This is your G2, which is the, for those of us watching online, that's the gray sphere, the gray section over there. You got 2 yellows and 2 blues. At the end of the day, the relationship is still the same. Okay, your G1 is still your G1. Your G3 is your G3. That has not changed. Another thing that has not changed is right now at 2,000 points. Okay, how much do you get in terms of generation percent? 2.5. If you hit 3,000, you get 5 generation, 6%. 5% 6 generation. I'm sorry. So did that change? Absolutely not. 4 blocks is still 2.5. 6 blocks will still get you 5% 6 generations. And if your organization is still flat, the early Ruby, okay, he doesn't have a very deep organization, we will still give you 10% on your G1. Did any of that change? Absolutely not. Now, what has changed? Okay, what's changed is actually the focus. Look, I know there's a lot of information in the chart. Bear with me. Okay, right now a gold, and these are there in parentheses so you guys can identify them. Okay, the basic brand partner has 1 G1 sales leader under them. They have 1 breakaway. Okay, a lapis or a senior brand partner. Don't worry, we'll go through some exercises so you guys remember these. But a lapis has 2. A ruby still has 4. Did anything change? Absolutely not. Did anything change on the paid generations? Absolutely not. But look what happened to Mr. Emerald. Back then, emeralds needed 6 breakaways in order to become an emerald. My question is, what happened to him? He only still needs 4. But where we are taking the notch down in quantity, we are upping the quality. Okay? The big problem is, sorry, we're all blue diamonds here. So my question for you, is it easy managing 12 kids? Okay. Would it be easier to manage 6? I don't have kids myself, but my assumption is it'll be easier to focus on the organizations that need help or on the organizations that are growing. So imagine if you could focus your attention from normally needing 12 wide to now needing 6 wide. Imagine an emerald who initially needed to take care of 6. He or she will now only need to take care of 4 and maintain 4. But there's a good but here. Okay? There's this number 1 under the leadership team column. What is a leadership team? A leadership team is somebody who is able to accumulate a certain number of OV. LTSV is leadership team sales volume. Okay, this is basically your OV, all the volume that's under this line, which means if you have a downline who can accumulate 10,000 points, congratulations. All right, that is counted as a leadership team. Now, when you become a senior brand director, an emerald, you need a 5x2. But notice that your leadership team requirements have also accelerated. You need one 10,000 and you need one 20,000. When you're trying to go for Blue Diamond, you no longer need 12. You need 6 by 3. But your 3 leadership teams are 10, 20, 30. Okay? Another one. If you're trying to become a team elite, you don't need 15. You don't need 16. You need 6 by 4. But it's 10, 20, 30. So an easy way to remember this is depending on the number of leadership teams that you need, that is actually the OV requirement. For example, if you are a team elite and you needed 4, you have 10, 20, 30, 40. If you are a Blue Diamond and you needed 3, that's actually 30. 10, 20, 30. If you are a Diamond, 10, 20. If you are a single Emerald, then you need 10. Now, in my mind, this is why I love how this works, because number one, it just focuses your organization. It focuses on not just surviving at 2,000 and not getting any commission. Congratulations, you're a Blue Diamond and you have like an OV of 30,000. All right? Now, a Blue Diamond will need an OV of what? About 68. Okay? And this literally makes that quality of your commissions even better. Okay? This is sending a message that, again, quality matters. And at the end of the day, you guys can also focus. My question for you is, how many of your downlines might actually be Blue Diamonds and they don't know it? I see this literally happening. An Emerald today only needs 6 breakaways. But you know what? This Emerald, or this Emerald/Diamond going up and down between 6 and 8, he has strong organizations behind him. He actually has, let's say, 3. This Emerald can literally be a Blue Diamond when velocity kicks in. Literally. And who cares? It's just a title. No, it's not. Because an Emerald can reach 4 generations, a Blue Diamond can reach 6. This is literally their commissions going up the next month without necessarily adding to the organization. So what velocity does is it compresses things, okay? And it makes people focus. So again, you might be a Ruby today, but you know what? If you actually have a strong organization, you can be an Emerald by July 1. Okay, literally. Blinking without adding anything to your organization. You literally add 1 more generation to your line. I mean, to your income. Now, here's the thing. Oh my God, I'm not ready. Don't worry. If you happen to be paid as an Emerald, as a Ruby and above, anywhere from April, May, June, let me repeat, April, May, June this year. These 3 months right there, April, May, June. If you were a Ruby or above, you have an option to transition. I will show you guys the opt-in screen if you haven't seen it already, but you don't have to jump into velocity title determination. Okay, this is lead. This is long-term. Some of us may not have the organization that's ready for this. That's fine. You guys can opt in when you want to this lead title determination. It will be there until July 2020. 2020, that's 2 years from now. Literally. You think you can take 2 years to build 10,000 OSV? Hell yeah. Okay? But this doesn't mean that share and build, okay, are going to be optional. To be clear, lead is something you can opt into by July 1. All right? If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, please don't lose commissions. All right? You can literally be a Blue Diamond with no leadership teams. You're going to be a Ruby, literally. Don't do that. Okay? So make sure that you're ready, and I'm going to show you how you're going to determine when you're ready. But at the end of the day, if you're ready, go for this. But share and build, since they're automatically going to build, they're automatically going to beat whatever we had before. Immediately, everybody will be on share and everybody will be on build. Let me be clear. July 1, every single member of the Philippine team will be on share and build. For those of us who are paid as Ruby and above the past 3 months, you have an option for the next 2 years to decide when you want to join. By July 2020, everybody is on velocity. I hope that's fair. 2 years, I think, is enough time to build a leadership team. Okay? And some counting examples you see on screen. This person is a Lapis. This person has 2 brand partners there. I'm sorry, the screen is weird. But if you are watching this online, there's actually a divider. So this person has 3 breakaways. Okay? This person is also still somebody with a breakaway. It's just that the only difference here is the commissions. Now, I'm going to stop right here for some questions. Then I'm going to go to the systems part. But there might be some people asking questions online. Can I take questions from the floor first? Then I'm going to get some questions online. Anything about share, build, rationale, why. We'll talk systems in just a bit. But when it comes to understanding the plan or understanding the why, Can I take some questions, please? Please, sir.
So on the build part, if the first week you do like 4,500 points,
Yep.
you're maximizing 40%. So it means volume on the second, third, fourth week automatically will fall under 45% commission.
Well, only
40%.
40%. Pardon me, sir. Not exactly, but you're absolutely right. If your example was 16 blocks, because this is 8 to 15 blocks. So no, 16 blocks is 8,000.
Oh, okay.
8,000. But yes, you're right. So it's already maximized. So for those of us listening online, the question was this. If I had 4,500 OSV on the first week, the rest of the month I'm already optimized? The answer is yes. The sooner you get to the optimization point of 4,000 GSV, the sooner you can earn 35 to 40%. All right? So in my mind, sir, technically 40% would be 8,000, but in general, 35 is pretty high already.
So on the second, third week, fourth week, all of them will fall under, let's say, assuming 8,000 points. It's 40%. Irregardless, the second week I got 1,000 points, and third week.
Irregardless. All right? So the moment you maximize that, you're there for the rest of the month. All right. So yeah, he's absolutely right. For those of you guys who can pull 8,000 points in 1 week, bring it. Absolutely fantastic. Any other questions, please? Pablo, you have anything online?
Yeah, I got something online.
Please.
In June, if a distributor does a files for LOI, all right, files for LOI does 2,000 or roughly about 4 blocks. And then from July, they still have to do, instead of if they transition into velocity in July, they still have to do sharing blocks moving forward to their qualification. If
Correct.
they win on the LOI monthly
Correct.
finish, let's just say they do their
And fantastic question.
velocity wasn't
Fantastic question there, okay? I'm getting feedback right now, and here's the thing. Pablo, I'm going to have to double confirm this, okay? But I do have the information already. So I'm going to double confirm this on the corporate side, but here's how the system will work, okay? If you are currently on LOI or Q exec June 30, you're going to continue your path until you either fall back down to distributor, unfortunately you don't complete, or you make it all the way to executive. So in that example, if this person had 2,000 GV already accumulated, technically they only need 4,000, no sharing block, because this person is already on the, I call it classic, but the Wealth Maximizer LOI path. If this person was already, for example, P-exec, okay, then on July 1, they're technically P-exec 2. So they either continue the P-exec path or they go back up to becoming an executive. Once they become an executive, then they're already on build and everything. So for those uplines listening right now, basically the LOI path and the P-exec paths are the ones that will continue by themselves. Meaning, even if it's already July, you're technically still under the Wealth Maximizer plan because we can't stop your qualification there. So in that respect, the person who asked 2,000, no, we're not going to ask you to do a sharing block because you're on the LOI path already. Yes, that is correct. So anybody who's there on the re-entry for pre-exec still count. Okay? I can move on to systems. Do I have any further questions? Yes, Marlon, go ahead.
For example, I have only one down, so it's my level 1.
Sure.
He did 6,000 points.
6,000 points,
His
okay.
PV.
Yes.
He
Oh,
filed the LOI.
uh-huh.
Is that also my sharing?
Yes. So it's rare that it happens.
Right along, for example.
Yeah,
For the same
technically.
case.
Technically, yes. Per case, absolutely. The answer is, yes, sure, you got off on a technicality, then I'll give you the but behind that, okay? Yes, you got off on a technicality. Technically speaking, this L1 did 6,000 points, which means both you and him have 6,000 building blocks, in a way, worth of points. And since it's just in his L1, oh, actually, no. He doesn't get promoted. You get promoted as an upline because he doesn't have any sharing block. All right, which means technically you, the upline, have 6,000 sharing blocks. He only has 6,000 sharing blocks. The next month, he will still need to do 2,000 sharing blocks of his own. Now, technically, if that happens to one customer, for big markets, and this is unfortunate for, I don't say unfortunate, this is complicated for Singapore and Malaysia. They have a lot of 1,000 PV kits, and it's flying off the shelf. It's literally possible to have 3 customers buy like those sets in like 2 months, you're done, 6,000. But the problem with that is you don't actually have the customer base. The moment that they break away, they're like immediately broken away. But to your question, that downline of yours is in slight trouble because he has 6K and he still needs to do 2K more.
So we are clear that our PV is not our sharing block.
Your PV, yeah, to be very clear, your PV is not your sharing block. You're going to need to bring in new people, make sure that you're developing your customers. Great question, though. Great question. Please.
Makukuha ba ng brand representative ang sharing bonus pag sa kanya pinili?
Makikuha ba lang? Okay. Yes, makukuha niyo yun. So, for example, a sharing bonus is, a brand representative is executive, diba? So, sorry, Tagalog. Yung PV niya is considered technically his own GV. Pero, hindi mag-roll up yan sa upline niya. So, for example, where if you have a downline breakaway executive, and this breakaway executive of yours buys something on the PV, makukuha niya yung sarili niyang sharing bonus. So, it rolls down to him.
Ako ay executive sa akin na may PV ako,
Aha.
sharing bonus.
Sharing bonus mo yun, yes.
So, kahit anong title na, for example, sa loob ng circle group ko, for example, si Justine,
Sure.
ako ay level 1 niya,
Sure.
tapos may PV ako.
Sure.
So, kahit ano ang title ni Justine, makukuha niya ang sharing bonus.
Yes.
Pero pag executive siya, sa kanya pinili yung
PV niya.
PV niya,
Sa kanya mo.
makukuha ng sharing bonus.
Yes,
Whatever
correct.
the product.
Whatever the product is. This is across anybody who's got whatever the country, in fact. As long as it's velocity, you are going to get your own purchase as an executive.
So, parang kakaroon ng tatlong prices ang product. Isang SRP,
I'm listening,
isang distributor,
Uh-huh.
saka isang sharing.
Nope. That's where it makes a big difference. Okay, there's only going to be technically 2 prices, and the company will only be able to charge one of these prices. I repeat, there's going to be 2 prices on record. There's a suggested retail price if you would like to sell it at retail, but for members and distributors, you guys are only going to buy it at the member price. So when you buy it at the member price, that's also, the sharing bonus is already in there. So in a way, if you bought something, sorry, just as an example, if I have a $100 product, the retail price is $140. Those are the 100 and 140 is the only thing that the company will publish. If I was an executive and I bought that $100 product, assuming there was a 5% sharing bonus on that, let's say $5, I will actually buy it for 100 and then I will see a credit of a $5 bonus, a sharing bonus on my account.
Pero hidden siya, di ba?
Yes. Yes, it's not something that you're gonna go publish outright. No, it's not gonna be a third pricing or anything like that.
Okay. Next question. Yung
Sure.
sinasabing anniversary sa
Flex block, yes.
block, tama? Is that every January of the year or kung kailan siya nag-start?
Fantastic question. The question was, when do the flex blocks come in? What is technically my anniversary? Is it every January? The answer is, when did you hit executive? So in this system, you all have an executive date. You all hit executive at some permanent point in time, and that's not going to change in the system. So, I mean, you're lucky if your executive date was August, for example, which means you got 6 in July, you got 3 more in August, okay? And then you can continue from there. But whenever your anniversary is, it's going to be there. And I'm going to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek. This is supposed to be further down the road, but right here, guys. For example, what you guys are seeing on the screen is something that you're going to see on BNG. In this purple arrow, pink arrow, it says how many flex blocks you're going to be remaining. Your next flex blocks will come in January 2018. So the system will immediately spell out for you when you're going to be receiving these flex blocks. And let me double confirm, where is this? 1 second, guys. Right here. So, even if you're monitoring it, and we're getting a little advanced, right? You see here at the bottom, the flex here, okay? How many flex blocks do you have? And your next flex blocks will be in January 2018. So no matter what happens, whether it's you or whether you're helping to monitor or helping to look into a downline qualification, it's there for you. Okay? So any other questions before I start going into the systems? Because I think that a lot of the questions currently are system-based. Do you have anything that are more on compensation plan-based? I would love to hear those questions. May I move on? Because I can stop again at the end of this and take all the different variable questions. Yes? Sure. Yes. Precisely. Correct. The question is, Do I have any sort of sharing block requirement at any point in time of my qualification? Guys, I apologize if I'm jumping a little bit ahead of myself, but this is the standard tracking for a qualifying executive. For example, this sales leader qualification only has 10 blocks out of 12. Okay? He needs about another 200 points more in order to get his sharing block requirement. So in this first column, you will see him 10 out of 12 blocks, meaning you're about 5,000 points, okay? But you don't have your 2,000 sharing block requirement. So it literally, this bar fills over 6 months, the sharing block volume requirement. So it's not as if you need to do 500 chunks. What if, Carl, on 1 month I have 541? Doesn't matter. That 41 counts. Walang sayang. Okay? Any other questions, guys? All right, I'll move on to the system portion first. Let me take you through a couple of things. Number one, I'll show you what the opt-in requirement is. Let me show you the concept of the commissions calendar as well as the Pay Me Now function. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about Q exec qualification, brand representative qualification, how you accumulate blocks, how you see flex blocks, and a little fun thing called gamification and notifications. Okay? So when we talk about systems, this is basically focusing on title determination and how you get paid. So at the end of the day, you guys would see this. It's red. I don't think anybody will miss this when you log into VNG. When you log into VNG, you can click on this, and you know what? It's like my wife. She asks a couple of confirmatory questions. Okay? Today, you are a blue diamond. Okay? Then you will actually be shown an option. Hey, if you go to Velocity, you're also going to be an executive brand director, which is blue diamond. Or you're going to be a team lead. Congratulations, you're a presidential director. You actually get to see what title you're going to be. Okay? And then it's going to ask you that. Are you sure? Yes. All right. Here's the terms and conditions. Scroll down. Are you sure? Yes. All right. And then it's going to ask you, congratulations, you're in, but are you sure? Okay. So, like my wife, she likes to double confirm. All right. Because you know what? Once you put that ring on, you're in. You're in, baby. All right. When you opt in for Velocity, at that point, if you say yes these 3 times, yes, I want to be a senior brand director. Yes, I accept the terms and conditions. Congratulations, I'm in. Yes, I want to stay. You're in, people. Okay? The system does not allow for clawbacks, or it does not allow for manual change. I've never been able to. Okay? Yes, people have asked. Okay? So please make sure that when you're telling your downlines to opt in, they look at the first page and make sure that based on your current performance, are you ready? Are you going to be able to take advantage of this? Because here's the thing. And that's right, I use the word take advantage. Please do not lower your commissions. Opt in only when it is advantageous for you. Because you have all the way until July 2020. Rubies and above. Come on. You guys have until 2020 to decide this. So please. And if you're not a Ruby, you know what? I'm not even going to give you a choice. This is good for you. You're going to go Velocity anyway. Okay? There's no choice. There's no need to make you choose anyway. Okay? So, clear on that. Opt-in requirements, 3 yeses. When you say yes, that's it, people. You're done. Okay? Now, you're in. Next one is your commission dashboard. And I apologize. I think it should be okay when you guys are seeing it on Facebook Live, but it's a little fuzzy here. Let me zoom in. But this dashboard in VNG is basically how you guys are going to see your commissions. On the upper left-hand corner is basically your GV tracker. How many blocks have you done? Do you have any flex blocks that you need to worry about? Okay? Your earning summary, how much have you been earning on a list basis? Your calendar summary, how much have you been earning on what day? And we can focus on that. You've got your G1 summary, okay, which is where are your leadership teams, as well as a few fun things like leaderboards, badges, as well as goals. Now, let me focus, and this is not the whole thing I'm going to show, let me focus on a few things. I love this commissions calendar simply because it literally tells you how much you're earning. On the left-hand side, think of it like a Fitbit. I think we have Fitbit in the Philippines, right? So you fill in your activity. Basically, you fill in your activity. So the more you sell, the more this fills in a block. And you know that at 315, you're about 200 PV short of a block. And it tells you that if you fulfilled that 215, then you would have been 30%. So for those of us online, you're going to see the big circle and the small circles underneath. They have a percentage that's attached to them. So at any point in time, you don't need to count. You literally, pardon me, you literally know how much GV you've accumulated. In this case, 2,800. That's 5 whole blocks completed, and you're almost at your 6th. and there's a number here that says you're on block number 6 as well. At any point in time, pardon me, we're going to be telling you when you earned your sharing bonus. This is June 3. You earned building bonus on June 6. I'm making this up, by the way. So this is a simulated system. You got paid sharing bonus on June 10, for example. So it tells you, and then you can click on it, and it tells you exactly which purchases contributed to that commission. So at the end of the day, you can self-audit at any point in time, and I love this calendar. So I hope that this helps you guys in terms of tracking. Speaking of tracking, you're also going to be able to see, and I apologize, this has certified lines. This is slightly outdated, but you guys get the point. If you guys are tracking leadership teams, you literally know how much leadership team volume each particular person has. And this is something that's going to be quite useful. Okay. One thing that I like is when you see how this is, how many slides do I have? 2. Okay. It tells you, okay, look, you're currently a diamond. Okay, so you're currently an emerald. Get another team to 20 LTSV and 10 LTSV, and then you're good. So it basically tells you how much more you've got to go. So if you were, for example, vying for Blue Diamond, you would know what's missing, and you can kind of tell who's missing what. So at the end of the day, this is kind of going to make tracking more seamless. Because at the end of the day, when you say I need 10, 20, 30, can I mix and match? Can I say I have 2 downlines, Mr. A and Mr. B? Okay? What if Mr. A is 20, Mr. B is 30 this month, and then the next month they flip? Okay? Mr. B is 30, Mr. A is only 20. It doesn't matter. All right? Leadership teams are volume-based, which means you guys can be shuffling downlines up and down. As uplines, you guys need to be able to track who's who. Okay? Now, aside from being able to track, you need to get paid. Okay? I know you're all going to try this on July 1. We're already preparing for that mass clicking, and that's okay. All right? So go ahead and try it July 1. You guys are going to see a Pay Me Now function. You're going to go, wait a minute. This is how much commissions I got left. Okay? This is basically your virtual account. Okay? As you build sharing bonuses, okay, sharing bonus is earned on a weekly or on a daily basis, okay, but only the build bonus is automatically paid. I repeat, okay, daily earn weekly pay. Daily earn weekly pay. You will already get your commissions 4 times a month. So whatever is in your account, share, build, lead bonuses, every middle of that week. So if it was after the first week, maybe the 8th. After the second week, maybe the 16th or 17th. You guys are going to get commissions 4 times a month already. Okay? But if you happen to sell a lot and you really want to get your commissions already for any reason, you can literally hit Pay Me Now, and whatever is in your account will immediately go, okay, we're going to confirm, pay me. You sure you want me to pay $365? All right, congratulations. We've already started the process. And again, there are some countries where when you click done within like a few 12 hours, half a day, all right, within the banking cycle, you're already able to put it in. However, in some countries, the banks take about 48 hours, sometimes even 36. So 72. So at the end of the day, we're going to get you guys exact timelines so that you know when I click July 2, I get it July 4 by right. At the latest, you should be getting it July 4 or 5. Okay? So this Pay Me Now function allows you to get your sharing bonus as and when you earn it. And this may be important to some. Or for uplines, I don't need it until next month. It doesn't matter. It comes in, we empty your digital account on a weekly basis. So every week you get those commissions coming in. Right? Now, I'm going to go to Systems Part 2, and this is basically what we talked about, executive qualifications. So part of this is talking about sales leader qualification, Q exec qualification. This is something that I showed you earlier on. So for example, if right now you have 10 out of 12, I have 6 months to accumulate this. At the end of the day, I need to make sure that I finish this 12 blocks and these 4 sharing blocks, and it tells me how much I've got left. If you are an upline, okay, you're going to go, hey, does he have his 2 blocks for the month? Sure, you can track. Okay, so this is Chantal's upline, checking in on her. You can literally go, okay, Chantal did great, 2 blocks in January, 3 more blocks in February. You know what? In March, I'm going to need to make sure. What if this isn't 2 blocks? You're going to need to kick some ass and make sure that you wake them up. All right. So at the end of the day, this is where, as an upline, you can say, oh, okay, you already have 5 blocks there, but you know what? You're kind of slow in the sharing block. Depends how your team builds. Your own pace, your own choice. But at the end of the day, you guys can keep track of saying, how you doing? Okay? You can focus on those areas where, what if they already have like 10 blocks and they have 0 sharing blocks? As an upline, you can kind of go, okay, this is something that we can work on. Okay? Now, GSV accumulation is something that we talked about earlier on. So this is a zoomed in version of that. So this upper portion of your commissions dashboard, okay, is something that will tell you how much GV you've got, how much space you've got to your next block, and your block history. Literally, you see that number right there? The $125, the $150, $175 per block. They're literally going to tell you how much commissions they sent to your bank account. So that you see, oh, okay, I earned $100 from there. The next block I stand to earn, and I'm going to earn $125, and so on and so forth. So you guys will literally get to track that, and my hope is this transparency creates more trust. The more trust we have, the faster we move. The less we think about what we do on a daily basis and just focus on the work. Okay? That's my hope for us. Now, another one. Okay? Flex blocks. You saw this screen earlier. I was just going to say, this tells you how many flex blocks you've got remaining, and you know what? When is the next infusion of new flex blocks for your team? So that's the point of that. Okay? Flex blocks tracking is very simple. There's this drop down where you guys can see how many flex blocks you have remaining and how much you're going to be using, okay, for that month. Let's say you're looking historically at the month of, let's say, July. It's now August. I want to see what happened last month. I'm so sorry. Last month, you only had 2 completed blocks. You had to use 2 of your 12 flex blocks in order to maintain that month.
Check your downline's executive flex blocks.
Yes.
So an executive upline can check the downline executive flex blocks.
Yes, I believe so. Let me find that screen, and that is a very good thing that I will do. His question is, as an upline, can I check in this visual format my downline's flex blocks? I know they can check, but as to the visual format, I'm going to need to get back to you, okay? I will get that as a follow-up. Flex block tracking by upline. But that's a fantastic question. Thank you very much. Okay? Now, we're done with the functional bit. Here's the point. Gamification is also one of those things that we've been missing in the past. Who here has been like a top 100 distributor in the Philippines lately? Nobody has, because we haven't ranked each other. All right? At the end of the day, gamification is one of those things that gets people to go, ooh, all right? If you're going to have like downline who are millennials, trust me, okay? This is something that's going to be something that's quite interesting for them, okay? I know, let me get feedback. Sizzle and Blaze and Bonfire may or may not be the best names for everybody, but we're going to try this out, okay? Velocity is a living plan. I want your feedback, especially this. When we start giving them things like badges, hey, we're going to reward you if you earn 8 GSV blocks in a particular month, basically hit 4K. All right. So at the end of the day, there are things also like leaderboards. All right. Of course, these things, we're not going to put your full name and ID number. Are you crazy? All right. What we're going to do, we're going to allow you to sign up, pick an avatar, and you know what? Let's say my initials are RJC, I'm currently number 432. But you know what? If I ramp something up this month, can you imagine? Oh, we can literally motivate our downlines. Look at that dude. Okay, he literally did 20 blocks. Okay, in like 2 weeks. So at the end of the day, here are leadership boards where downlines can literally earn badges and compete. Good or bad, here's the kicker. Velocity is a living plan. We know what we're doing, share, build, lead. Okay? That one is pretty solid. I don't believe we're going to make any much changes over the next few years until we need to innovate again. But these things, gamification, notifications, the way we're telling your downlines, hey, wait a minute, you just earned a sharing bonus in your app. So when they turn on their app, congratulations, you earned this much. It gives them a ding, okay? I don't know why, but millennials nowadays, they love getting messages. All right, let's give them some, all right? Here you go. Here's a sharing bonus. Right? Here's a badge. Here's a way for you to track. At the end of the day, we're going to try and make sure that notifications are as robust, as mobile-friendly, okay, and as innovative as possible. So this is pretty much the end of my presentation. I want to make sure that I cover everybody. I just covered the concept of velocity. I just covered the systems behind it. Everything else is about the same. So I'm highlighting the changes that velocity will make in the system. My question is there anything I can clear up? And again, let me remind you the intent of this training. I don't need experts. I need believers. I don't need experts. I need believers. I know you don't remember half of the things I mentioned, but I need you to understand everything that I did. All right? So, do we have any disagreements? Do we have any people who go, wait a minute, that doesn't align with how I build? oh, wait a minute, this is detrimental. Here's a blind spot, Carl. All right? I think today, rather than giving you all the technical details, let me find your objections. Where are the places where you think the company didn't serve you as much? Or where do you think I can improve? Velocity itself is a living plan. Remember, if you guys were here for the first briefings, this wasn't plan A. Like literally, this wasn't the first version. I have like how many versions before? Why? Because leaders like yourselves speak up. Whenever you say, wait a minute, this is not going to do well. I have literally this one guy from Singapore, he passed a comment. Because of that comment, you now have sharing block flexibility rather than flex block rigidity every month. His one comment changed the plan globally. So don't think that just because we're a Vietnam market, we're a Philippine market, we're smaller than others, our opinion doesn't count. No. If your feedback makes sense, we fight for you when it comes to that. So we have phase 1 ready to launch July 1. It's not going to change from what I present to you guys. But through the next years, based on how we perform, okay, based on how this affects your downlines, maybe there's going to be a phase 2 modification in the next 12 months. Hopefully, we don't modify it every 12 months or whatever, but at the end of the day, we will modify it, we will evolve if we have to. Okay? So, I want to ask at this point, do I have any blind spots that I need to watch out for? Do I have any requests? Any suggestions that I can take? I'd love to get that kind of feedback. Let me start on the floor first, and then we'll take the ones online. Please, sir.
What's the basis? You showed earlier 5 to 20% sharing bonus.
Uh-huh.
What's the determining factor for the 5 to 20%? For example, for small items, for big items, or medium items?
Fantastic. Okay, so he's basically referring to the sharing bonus. Now, at the end of the day, there are things that we want to do on a fast-moving basis, and there are things that we are okay on an even keel. All right. So, for example, there are some of you guys who are saying, hey, don't change anything about this product because this is something that needs to be rock solid. Okay. So, for most of our existing products, we're going to put about a 5% bonus there, which means it's good. Okay. However, there are some products which we need to fly. All right. For example, and again, this is going to be a Philippine decision. I am just making something up. For example, when Power Lips comes out, do we want that with a huge sharing bonus so that people are pushing for it? You got what I mean? Which products do you think need to have a significant sharing bonus so that it's the difference between, if I was, let's say my customer has a budget of 100 US or 50 US, which products will I recommend in order to maximize my sharing bonus? Immediately, you've got an institutionalized direction where you're down to go, okay, I'm making this up. If I was selling pure cleansing gel, it's going to get me this much bonus, but if I sell Power Lips, I'm going to get this much. You know what? Let me show them Power Lips first. So at the end of the day, as uplines, you guys can actually mold this direction because you know what? You tell your markets what's important to you. So basically, sir, this is a scale of importance, meaning the ones where we want to drive them more socially or sharing or virally, right? Those are going to be the ones with higher sharing bonuses. Whereas the ones which are on the slower bit or on a normal bit, or you need them, like LifePak, I believe LifePak will be about an even keel 5%. Okay? That will probably be, that's kind of like the range we're looking at. Okay? Awesome. Please.
Will the points of the products remain the same?
Yes. PV itself will not change throughout the field. There was a question, will the points, the PV value change? They will not. The second question?
The second would be, we will still have ARO and ARO price.
I'm going to have to turn to the local market. Now, there is some bit of grandfathering. Paolo, would you mind helping out?
Yes, but that's for the existing year rules.
So by the time we implement velocity, there will be no more new AROs. Just for the
Yes.
old AROs.
Yes.
So all AROs have to be in before the velocity.
Correct.
No more ARO when
Mm.
So existing ARO cannot change identically. Like for example, naging apat siya, ginawa kong tatlo. Wala na yun. Kailangan
You have to add it in before the
So by the time velocity hindi na siya nababago, fixed na siya.
That's right.
And the points and prices will change as well.
Correct.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions from Facebook? Oh, so please, your question first.
Come July, since we're putting sharing bonus on every product, will the price increase?
Yes, I believe there will be a general increase, but it's something that they timed it in such a way that they haven't increased on the general. I think Southeast Asia hasn't increased on the prices for I think at least 4 years. There hasn't been a major adjustment. So the good thing about it is since we see this coming, that's going to be the only time. And that's why certain products, it has to be a balance. If we did like a 20% sharing bonus on everything, it means that there might be a price increase that will be a little bit more significant. So in my mind, that's why you have to make a choice between a 5 and a 20, because there are some products where you need the prices to be as stable as possible. So there will be at around a 5% increase in general come July.
But the points won't increase.
The PV will not increase, but the CB will change, adjust, yes. Fantastic, yes. You got volunteered, man. It's all right. It's all good. All right. Any other questions on Facebook? Awesome. Yeah, we're just gonna wait a little bit for the Facebook questions to come in. Okay.
Hold on. Okay, some of the questions that came in.
Time for about 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
So we've established purchases on your own account
Uh-huh.
are part of building block, correct?
Yes.
Not sharing block, because
Yes.
the whole concept of sharing is to actually sponsor somebody, and then that person would be, the purchases from that would be.
Fantastic, yes.
Part of the sharing, right?
Yes.
Other questions that have come in here. Hold on.
Thank you for being nice.
Some of the questions that are actually coming in is more has to do with pricing change. For those that
Can
are,
take that off.
yeah, for those that are asking online about the pricing changes, market would be sending announcements about this. So just please do wait for official announcements. We'll be releasing them through both Facebook and through email as well. But we did release an announcement earlier with regards to the Aero grandfathering that was sent via email.
So far, so good.
Do we have any questions with Bossing that don't have to do with Aero?
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, I can share a few things on the Pacific experiences. We'll just take a few minutes of your time. Okay.
The only market that's running this is Australia or any other country.
The only market that has had actual experience that's data-able is Australia, Pacific side, New Zealand. But Taiwan itself has launched in April, so they only have about 2 months worth of data, not the best yet. US itself will launch in June. So these are Pacific, Taiwan, and US, Canada, Americas. We'll be launching it in June. We will follow suit. For example, Southeast Asia as a region will launch July. This will include Japan and I think Hong Kong, Macau, another market like that.
So Australia's been doing it for 4 months.
No, Australia's been doing it since December. So Australia's been doing it for like 5 months. So there's enough data over there to kind of give us a trend. How has Australia changed, improved, and so on? Okay, guys. If there's no other questions, can we cut the online feed? Thank you very much for staying. Any questions, please send them over. We'll do our best to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you, guys. Hey, thank you. But is this?